Deathwatch.
Hello, and welcome back to Deathwatch Productions, the Prophecy of Dusk and Dawn. This is our 10th episode, joined once again by my humble, especially Brandon. Brandon's very humble players who will now introduce themselves.
It's true. I'm very humble. I'm playing Landon Velox, who is currently convalescing in the hut of a hedge witch after being injured in a cowardly ambush.
Hello, I'm Travis. I'm playing Hadrius Ordius, and I'm currently trying to get these psycho bandits around me full and tired and sleepy so I can sneak away without any skill rolls whatsoever, because I'll surely fail them and be captured and get a talking to or a murdering.
And I'm John playing Jardine, a.k.a. Dane Glass, world's best trader, merchant, and now about to become the world's best guy at running away.
Also a master of humility, just like Brandon.
Yeah,
That too.
well, his character's humility mirrors Brandon's actual humility. Alrighty, so let's get this started here. Bran sat on a rock, eating some more charred venison, and stared off into the forest. As of late, he had noticed that the forest had shifts and breathes. Its heartbeat kept him awake at night, a steady thrumming that sent the slightest of tremors through the ground. Some of the other men had begun to notice this as well. Bran took one last bite and threw the chunk of meat on the ground in front of him. Immediately, he felt like something was rushing towards him, some ancient predator hungry from a millennia of hibernation. No wind blew, yet the trees around him began to rustle. Grasping vines sprouted from the ground and curled themselves around the discarded meat, ripping it apart and pulling it into the ground. More sacrifice. Bran didn't know if he had thought those words or if the trees whispered them, but he knew that soon. His eyes wandered over to where the prisoners were tied up to posts, and his eyes stopped on one of the fighting men. That man's face was swollen and black, and one of the eyes had closed completely. He'd been hard to take down, fought like a devil after his lordling had been brought low. No one would miss that one, Bran thought. Them lords never miss a servant. So, Hadrius Ordius, giving you proper respect, good merchant, and Jardine, a.k.a. Dane Glass. It's mid-morning. You guys left the unnamed town where some unspoken slaughter had happened. Some weeks or months past, you don't know. Garbon's walking at the head of your lot, his men, as well as you. Overhead, a storm is kind of beginning to brew, a line of black clouds off in the distance. And at some point during this morning walk, the brigands have seemed to start picking sides silently. And you are now walking in two very close together but distinct groups. The second group seems to be outnumbering Garbons, and they're currently kind of eyeing and conspiring amongst themselves. You, based on how Garbon's acting, you figure he knows what's going on, and he's trying to keep a composed face or demeanor. And up ahead, you can quickly see what appears to be a temple to Solar. Probably within the next 15-30 minutes, you'll probably reach it.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm waiting for, because when I had last talked to him, I suggested we kill this horse and eat it, because we were all very tired from the walk. But if I'm aware of all this, Split and his men, then I'm getting exceedingly nervous.
Yeah, if you want, you can roll insight or appraise. Either of you can. I keep forgetting that I can't see your guys' rolls pop up in my document. I need to link it somehow.
Success.
All right. Oh,
critical.
All
You
right.
are the greatest merchant.
So
it's all coming true.
you're seeing, like, because it's an appraise, it's kind of like, would you deal here? Like, how shady is this business? How bad? How sideways can it go? And you see it tilting real hard, but you think you could still probably get some business off.
Yeah.
Right, Hadrius? Dane, with his superior mercantile skills, you're getting a feeling much akin to the days before Alexander declared himself king, right? There's kind of a tension that's brewing, and you're expecting it to come to bloodshed soon, if not any moment, right? You're figuring by the end of the day there's going to be a whole lot less men standing.
Where are we at in this line of people?
Wherever you guys want.
I think we weren't too far from wherever Garbon was, because I was talking to you guys, and then I went up to have a word with him, and so now I've probably fallen back for the duration. So wherever Garbon would be, we were near him.
No, he's at the head of his group of men. So, and like I said, he's very stone-faced, but his eyes are sunken. Was it like bags have formed under those eyes from sleepless nights? He's looking pretty haggard.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll try to get his attention and, make like the shanking motion at my horse.
Time to eat. He kind of gives a slow blink, and then the cogs turn, and he gives a nod. And he points off up to the temple.
Okay.
Right up ahead, Gov. Don't worry about it.
All right, so hold out for then.
All right. So in short order, you guys reach there. That storm is still a ways off. You figure probably midday or after midday, maybe approaching on the evening. If it doesn't get blown off course or something, but you figure that'd be kind of hard to do because it's kind of taken up the majority of the horizon. So yeah, around midday, you guys reach this abandoned temple. These type of temples are common enough on the Pilgrim's Road. Not that either of you would know it. Jardane might, but Hadrius has never been this far north. He seems to prefer sailing off to the east. Then they're meant to serve as markers. Sometimes they will have a priest here usually, and that priest will kind of know the history of the area. Like Solar first came here on such and such day and, sacrificed something here, stuff like that. Simple knowledge of the area. But this one is recently abandoned. It doesn't appear to be looted yet. If you guys look in around it, it hasn't fallen into disrepair. No signs of violence, though the garden has become overgrown.
A garden? Does it have any produce in it?
Give a luck roll.
I don't think it does.
They just grew weeds in this garden.
It did, but most of it has...
priests.
Most of it just stayed on the vine too long, and now it's already kind of...
It's harvest time.
Yeah. All right. Actually, we're kind of early in the season. Let me switch that. It will have produce if it doesn't get strangled by...
Too early.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that figures. Just roast horse. I would be able to salt it, but that was stolen by other bandits.
Well,
you guys sure do make the world go around.
If it was recently abandoned, they should have some food stores, maybe not in the garden just yet, but maybe inside.
Yeah, you can roll a luck for that if you want, Jono.
Success. Almost.
All right. Yeah, they have non-perishable stuff. So like lots of flour, dried vegetables, raisins, stuff like that.
Oh, we make a gravy.
You could make a gravy. You could also make fire cakes.
And you've got
something
the
to sop it
horse
up.
as well. I mean, we could almost make a stew.
Well, let's put our best into it.
Yeah,
Dane.
a warm meal may ease some of the tensions.
We usually
I don't like the look of what's about to happen.
We usually base cooking on charisma, but we could also do it on idea. So you can give me a appearance or a idea roll to see which one of you comes up or is going to do the cooking. Neither of you.
Can I push on that or no?
You
Food
can push.
poison.
Food poisoning.
You can also
if,
spend
Turns into mustard gas.
You can also spend POW points.
and we only have
Never let an
our
alchemist
power is
cook.
the-
He just made mustard gas.
Sorry, John. What was that?
Said I wouldn't have enough. I've only got 10 of them,
Let's see how
it's
many.
doubled for POW.
How many do I need to make?
and they refresh. You said daily.
Yeah.
I'll spend the power to make mine a success.
Okay. So it looks like Jardane's going to bite the bullet on this one.
Because I have far less points to go down than you do.
Maybe it was your time with Giorgio, who was a bit of a foodie, or maybe you had an interest in it off and on throughout your life, being a traveled man such as you are. But yeah, you have picked up a little bit here or there, and you know how to make simple gravies. You would need some fat, which you could harvest and render quickly from the horse once butchered, and you could whip that into a nice roux real quick.
Yep, that's what I'll get to working on.
So who's going to slaughter the horse?
I'll go ahead and give it a shot, although I don't know the way, Mr. Frodo.
I mean, why don't we get Ollie to do it? He's probably
Yeah, that's right.
With the halberd.
Good call. He's got his bollocks dagger now.
All right. So when you guys come back out of the small temple, you were kind of hearing some muffled versions of it down in the cellar, but now you're hearing actual shouting and confrontation. The two groups are kind of facing off. The other men seem to be led by a wild-haired, short, kind of like 2 weeks growth, bearded, all dark hair, dark beard man, and he's shouting, "You've led us down this path, gotten most of the men killed. You done this to us, Garbon. We were out here having a good old time. Every time you have to veer off because of some stupid dream or vision." And Garbon is kind of keeping his anger on a simmer right now, and he's kind of just letting this guy yell at him. But while this is happening, you can roll spots if you want.
Nope.
So yeah, you guys are
engaged in the stew.
Do you want an Ollie spot? Or
Yeah. You can spot. Okay. Ollie kind of leans over to you and whispers that this is going down. This is going down now, boss. And he kind of points out that there's been a group. While this main two groups are arguing, there's a smaller group that's kind of circling, making their way. Not really kind of sneaking, but just calmly enough where it will go unnoticed, and they're going to probably try to jump Garbon here.
Well,
Do you just want to take the provisions and try to sneak away instead?
we'll wait till they're fighting and...
Yeah. And I could see where their anger may quickly turn towards us in the heat of the moment, as we are the ones that came along and fulfilled Garbon's dream or vision.
Yeah, that definitely would be a wise course, but part of me feels this is a good challenge for my bargain skill. Get a compromise here. Kill each other after you've had a good meal.
Wait.
Who wants to die hungry?
Full bellies equal better fighting.
I don't want to see some, hunger-sick people flail around at each other with half-hearted blows.
I want to see limbs severed and entrails spilled.
Yeah.
Let it be known that here at the second Pilgrim's Road's rest stop, that Garbon was struck so hard to the head that his brains then did leak out onto the ground. But at least he was full.
Well, yeah, I'll walk forward with bag of flour in my hand, bag of dried vegetables in the other, and I'll be like, "Gravy!" I'll yell out to the group of people.
All right. Give me I'll say oh man, I really want to go 1/10 on that, but we'll go difficult bargain.
Nice. Everybody respects
we can make
gravy.
Horse, vegetables, gravy. We'll eat like we've not eaten in days, friends.
All right. So they've stopped arguing, and a lot of them are now looking at you.
Yeah, I'll be like, "Ollie, could you kill this horse for me, please?"
You sure, boss?
Do it. Come on.
Okay. Ollie pulls out his fancy dagger, the bollocks dagger that he got from a noble corpse, and kind of shushes the horse, pats it on the side, gets it calmed down, and then just sticks it in real quick up about underneath its jaw area, and just quickly slits its throat, and the horse starts to kind of flail and quickly begins to bleed out.
Okay. I'll be like, "Well, come on. Men, you'll have to carve off your own portions here. I can't do it all."
Just a second here. I'm looking for something. Oh, there we go. Enemies. These guys were Lachlan. Come on, pop up. There it goes. What do you think would resist such a a bargain? Would it be another bargain?
Good question. I wonder if it listed in the skill. Use opposed skill rolls.
I'll roll a bargain. I'll make the call. All right, so they failed. But I think there's still a luck. Their luck's crap, too. All right. So you see some angry looks pass between these two groups, but they are very hungry. So the slaughter and the cooking of this stew commences, and the day drags on. It's now past noon.
Yeah, so should have just let them kill each other. I like a good challenge, though. We're not far from Castrum Low now, though, are we? A few days at this rate?
Let's see, that was the 29th. So 30th. Yeah, you'd be about here now. So yeah, you are a day's travel from the outskirts, the southern Muros city of Castrum Low. In fact, depending on, man, I don't know how far you can see in real life. I've never been outside, I must admit.
Well, the human eye is ridiculous.
But yeah, like there's a chance you might be able to see.
Depends on what you're looking at, yeah.
You can see further than 30 feet.
Yeah.
On a good day.
On a good day. But yeah, you might be able to see some sort of signs of civilization in the distance, like smoke rising up into the horizon or something.
Yeah, well, I'll caution as I'm, cooking Ollie and Dane not to overeat too much, so we're not burdened down by that. But you said there was a particular guy doing the talking from the opposing view. Well, maybe I'll go talk to, what's his name first? Garbon. See what he's thinking.
All right. So yeah, he's kind of, he's eating like a man in prison, where he's kind of hunched and just kind of shoveling the food in.
Garbon?
Gov?
I know you thought, or you looked at me like I was out of place last time we spoke about the situation with your men, but where's your mind at now?
I think that, oh man, did I have a name for that guy? We'll just call him Tucker. Tuck. I think Tuck over there is getting too big for his britches is what I'm thinking, Gov.
Yeah, well, at the risk of overstepping my place once again, you have to admit he does have a point. Yes, Garbon? Now hold on there before you take my guts out. I'm just trying to say that we're not far from Castrum Low. Perhaps some agreement could be made between you and him so that we can get there in one piece.
Well, if we was back in the woods, we'd just say this like men. But ever since we've been on this road, Gov, they've been getting weirder and weirder, doing things that we wouldn't do back when we was in the North Woods. And that bastard over there is most likely the cause of it.
Well, do you think you can beat him in a fight?
I think I could take him, but I think he knows that.
Well, what if you called his bluff and do it like you would do it back in the woods in front of him and his men? Surely he has an ego like most of us do. Wouldn't he go one toe-to-toe with you? Then you cut him down? Problem solved?
Yeah, it could be. But the thing is his side's starting to outnumber mine pretty good. It's only dishonorable if you get caught, Gov. If there's someone to tell the tale.
That's true.
And right now, in these lands, there ain't too many people telling tales. Just a whole lot of Northwood brigands.
That I know, friend. What do you think? Just kill him? I don't know how these things work. I'm a simple merchant.
Well, if you're looking to avoid bloodshed, Gov, that's one way not to. But I think you're probably right. Issue the challenge. At very least, probably give you guys enough time to either get out of here, because I don't trust him to keep you safe. Or we could try to wait till nightfall and we could split. Oh.
Well, my read on it is that I don't think we have nightfall before something happens one way or the other, so. But this is not really my wheelhouse, and I think normally I'd say the best thing is to confront the issue, but that line of reasoning literally is what got us into your fine, what was that place called? Where you were before, and into trouble with those other, or the brigands in that town. I forget the name of it.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally what I told Dane.
Elcon.
Yeah. But if you take care of it now, then at least you know when it's happening and on what ground.
Yeah. Just wish you'd come talk to me earlier, Gov.
Why?
Now I gotta do this on a full stomach.
Yeah, but so does he. And so do his bigger side, right? And some of those men, I reckon, are just cowards who are afraid. And that's why they're on his side. But if he's dead, they're also still full. how likely are they to come at you en masse in that way?
Guess we'll find out, Gov. All right. Eat hearty, and just in case, you may want to get ready to run.
Okay. Well, I'll go confer with Dane and Ollie on the matter, and I will not eat hearty. But I'll tell Dane and Ollie, yes, I'm trying to provoke this fight to occur in a particular way that might be advantageous to us, but honestly, if my luck runs the way it has been running, we'll probably just be worse off than we were before. But in any case, gentlemen, prepare yourselves to flee when I give the signal.
All right, so this is going to be a real simple one. We'll probably just make it a skill roll versus skill roll type thing, and the winner will come out on top of it. But yeah, Garbon kind of throws down what he was using for a bowl, some dented cup that he had salvaged, and stands up, stretches, and calls out Tuck. All right, Tuck, me and you are going to go at this. No, we don't want any more of our men to die, do we? And Tuck does not look happy about being called out. In fact, he's looking very hesitant. And you think for a second that he's probably just going to order his men to just begin fighting. But one of the people on his side kind of calls him on it. It's like, yeah, you can't just pass out being called out like that, can you, Tuck? You's a man, ain't you? And so Tuck begrudgingly stands up and readies his short sword. And, all right, you want to do this, Garbon? I got no problems. I'll cut you down in a second. You know it. We'll see about that. And so we're just going to do this one roll.
Oh. I wanted to place a bet with Ollie. It's cool.
Go on, place your bet.
It was going to be on Garbon. But he got a special that...
Yeah, go for it.
Is that Garbon?
Yeah, place your bet.
Yeah, I'll just see if Ollie wants to do one cheap money unit on the side there.
I'll
tell him I'll take it 2-1.
Okay, I was going to say he wants better odds because he's able to size up Garbon versus the other guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he wants 2-1 if he's going to have to take the other guy. Oh, needs damage. 1d6 plus 1, 20. All right. Dunk. Yeah. You see Garbon kind of treats his short sword like you would a knife or a shank in prison. He has it out in front of him, and he kind of does jabs with it. And he baits Tuck into just kind of losing his temper and going for it. You hear him taunting under his breath. Garbon taunting under his breath as he's doing it. And one of those things he says, you see just a vein kind of pop out on Tuck's forehead and his face kind of turn red. And he just tries to tackle him. And Garbon sort of lets it happen and just slips that sword up under his ringmail into his heart. And they never even hit the ground. Just Tuck kind of just keeps momentum, keeps him moving. And he falls on the ground. And then Garbon, sword bloodied, turns to Tuck's men. Like, any more of you cowards, ankle biters? Forgot who I am. I'm still here. Your boss is dead now. But I'm a forgiving guy. Come on back, or I'll kill a lot of you.
Now I'd like to see how that plays out. With my complete
take
lack
bets.
of awareness.
All right, I've got 2 money units on him killing a lot of you.
Like, how does that mutiny group? What are their looks?
They are demoralized. So Garbon's command or bargain would come in at an easy.
Okay.
I'd say this is a command. So we'll see if he's able to pull it off. He's not. He can push though. Would I allow an NPC to push? I would in this case.
Well, now, who's rolling for him?
I am.
You're not an NPC.
Sometimes I feel
You're
like
the
it, though.
game master, so...
This sets them off.
The other group?
Oh, yeah. They immediately hop to their feet and start drawing swords. Garbon's men does too.
Run.
All right, let's go, Holly. Don't forget, I won the bet. Yeah, so I'll wait for like the clash to happen, and I guess I'll just try to start leading us somewhere away from this mess.
Ollie suggests the horses.
Right. We got
Horse.
2 now, though, and I'm not sure. But they might handle... I think Dane and I could double up on one.
Yeah, I'm not very big.
All right. So, yeah, Ollie's like, horses, boss.
Yeah.
Quick. And he goes over and he laces his fingers together to give you, mainly Jardane, a boost.
All right.
Jardane, because you only have one arm, I'm going to need a...
Agility.
we can just -1 temporary hit point or an agility roll to keep the temporary hit point. I'll leave it up to you.
Success.
All right. So you're able to hop up onto whatever horse's name it is, Hadrius. Do you have them?
Somewhere, but I lost the document. I can't.
Ration 1, Ration 2, Ration 3. And then you are, he stays in that position for you.
Okay.
Up you go, boss. And he helps you up, and then he's able to get on a horse fine. That said, all rolls for bareback riding,
Right.
unless you're specifically trained in it, start at difficult and just go down from there. So,
Yeah. Well, I'll try not to do anything crazy.
like, get 2 groups of brigands to murder each other.
Well, I wanted to see how it play out. I couldn't help myself.
All right. So, yeah, Ollie tells you to ride, flee.
Yeah, so I'll, dig my heels in. Not crazy, but enough to get the horse going.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be galloping quite yet. I'll just move away at a good clip
And which direction are you
to
heading?
the north, to where I assume Castrum Low is to
All right.
be.
So on a horse, if you want to push it, I would still allow you to get about a half further than you would
Yeah.
if you want to. You would be going into the night, and your horse would have potential difficulties.
I think I'm going to assume brigands are brigands because they don't like to put hard work in. So if we can put as much distance as
They'll
we
give
can,
up.
they'll give up once we're out of a certain radius, and then we'll be okay. So we might have to lean on our horses' lives for that to happen. So yeah, we will go into the night a little bit, whether it kills them or not.
All right. And like a lot of the danger in this would come from if the moon is out tonight, how badly it starts storming and how bad the wagon ruts
Yeah.
and the road are. That's probably
Well,
the
if it
biggest
gets
threat to
dark and it's making me nervous, then I will stop and decide to walk them from that point. Like if I'm nervous about my ability to ride them, I will definitely get off.
All right. So in a cloud of dust, you, Ollie, and Jardane ride off to the north down the road, and behind you, you hear the sounds of dying men. If you want, you can roll a listen.
Okay.
Or a spot, either or. Oh, you still had it on
Difficult.
difficult. Nice. So you clearly hear Garbon still cussing and killing. So he's still alive when you ride off. Whether or not that's a good thing for you, because...
Yeah, I don't know if I'm relieved or not if he
Yeah.
would be alive.
Yeah, because
Fully
he
trust
might
him.
actually be motivated enough to come looking for you. But it could have been worse. You could have rode off earlier and potentially made him mad. At least this was discussed.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea.
And that is where we'll fade on your guys' scene for now. And we'll head on over back in the morning of the 25th, I believe.
Yeah.
Forever the 25th, wherever you
Yeah.
are. You and Leodin had just walked out. You had your arm draped around her for support.
Yeah.
Just walked out the front of her cottage door into the best way to describe it would be kind of more of a grove. It's not quite a clearing.
Okay.
And much of your morning is spent with your arm draped around her shoulders as she helps you walk around this small grove, kind of exercising you.
Yeah.
This section of the forest, while not quite a clearing, is certainly more tamed than the other parts than the parts that Equus Low had led the hunting party through. At the borders of Leodin's property, runes and symbols have been carved into the trees, and fetishes hang from the lower boughs. To the south sits the squat stone cottage that Leodin calls home. Much like the trees that make up the border of her land, so too has this cottage been inscribed with runes and symbols. Many of them meaning little to you. Next to the house, on the east side, is a thriving garden, an organized mix of vegetables and medicinal herbs. It threatens currently to overtake her cottage. It's shooting vines and creepers up the side of it. And near the northern border sits a small altar covered in moss, unlike the other trinkets that seem to hold some deeper meaning, arcane meaning to Leodin. this altar's been allowed to fall into disrepair. And so that's kind of her property. To add to the tranquil feeling that that has settled on this place, the constant rustle of leaves overhead is accented by a babbling brook that bisects the grove. And that's where she gets most of her water from.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's a pleasant enough morning. Nice and bright and sunny, if shaded, so you're not getting the full effect of Solar's light on you.
And how does my wound feel?
It's still it still feels like it's healed a week.
So I have marked on here that I have 6 of 12 hit points. Does that sound right to you?
I think you lost 8, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then you would have gained...
So I was at 4, and then I did gain some back.
We gained back temporary ones. That should have been at the location.
Okay.
So the actual total hit points wouldn't have gone up, just the ones at your abdomen.
Okay.
And then now those are gone too. So you'd be at 5 for your total hit points and 1 for your abdomen.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so 1 abdomen, 5 total. Okay.
And it's no longer in danger of breaking open. She still will clean it, and she'll, smell, make sure it's not becoming infected. And then she'll put fresh bandages on it. She did this morning.
Okay.
So yeah, when you start walking around this morning, she's kind of urging you not to push yourself. And then around mid-morning, you start kind of feeling like you're probably pushing yourself a little bit too hard, but she's changed her story by that point, and she's like, "Oh, you can go a little bit longer. You seem you're healthy as an ox. No need for you to worry." But eventually, she'll deposit you onto a stump near the front of her property, and she'll go in, and she comes back out with bread, hard cheese, and some milk that was left to cool in the brook.
Okay.
Makes a simple lunch for you.
All right. Well, I'll thank her for that, and I'll start eating it. And then I wanted to ask her, like, how far away we are right now from, the castle, Castrum.
Castrum Low will take you about day and a half, 2 days from here, maybe a little bit longer. The Leshy's fairly untamed in these parts, and the only trails are game trails, and they kind of tend to wind.
Okay. And how far away from where you found me are we?
Stone throw?
Okay.
Fairly close.
Yeah, I want to try and look at that. I want to try and see the clearing and see, if I can deduce anything from what's left there.
Well, stone's throw if you're hale and hearty, but we'd have to go through some, oh man, I forget what it's called. Not a ditch, but basically.
Yeah.
It's from like old riverbeds basically that cut through the land.
Okay.
And it'd be some hard downhill, uphill walking for you. We can try it, but I'd say maybe tomorrow. If I'm being honest, Landon, I would probably say almost a month you should have been in bed. You seem to be healing something fierce.
So how did you get me here?
Made a litter, carried you on me, or dragged you.
I don't remember the journey, but I'm not exactly light.
You can say that.
All right. Well, yeah, not today then. I'll take your advice. See how I feel tomorrow. But I can't stay here long. I have a whole army that I'm supposed to be in charge of.
She kind of rolls her eyes like,
hey, you and me both. I don't want to be in charge of it.
Not so much that you think she's mocking, but perhaps she thinks you're putting on airs, I guess is what I'd say, right? Like, oh, sure, Lord thinks the whole world sits on his shoulders. Can't be away too long. Not that she'd say that. That's kind of what you would interpret from the eye roll.
Right, yeah.
Man, you need to conscript her. Put her in the army. Her attitude, she needs some discipline.
Yeah. But
I'm just kidding. She seems nice.
For now, I'll just play along.
Less,
since my life is in her hands.
Yeah, less a pile of herbs end up in his soup.
Yeah, mustard gas, herbs, put in my soup, yeah.
Oh, that's a potent mix of ammonia and bleach.
Yeah.
Edge witches and alchemists everywhere, just gassing towns on accident.
But now that I'm up and I'm coherent, I did want to tell her the story of her, the whole interaction that took place with her. Was it her mother or aunt?
Grandmother.
Her grandmother. And
Shanae.
yeah, and that, I did promise that you would have a place of safety with me because she's concerned that you'll be targeted for retribution based on her giving me some assistance in the mystery I'm trying to solve.
Grandmother would think that. She would say that I'd have to pick up and move without even discussing it with me first.
Yeah, it's the prerogative of the elder just to make decisions on our behalf without consulting us first.
I think there's a bit of sincerity in your voice when you're saying that based on your position. So I think she picks up on that.
Yeah.
She doesn't give you any lip back on that one. She kind of nods and kind of puts her hands on her hips and goes, yeah, they really should be asking. It's not fair.
Well, I did give her my word, but the choice is yours. Ultimately.
It is. And I'll be thinking about it. That's if I believe you. And you just decided you don't want some country lass to follow you around.
Right. Well, there's always that possibility.
She seems to have kind of relaxed around you. That bit of nervousness that she sort of masked with just being abrasive towards you is kind of lessening. And she just is now kind of just generally joking with you in a more common, less formal way. But as you were telling her that, she kind of took to weeding the garden and just kind of paying half attention until you brought up the fact that she'd actually have to move.
Right.
And then that kind of got her attention, but she kind of remained just at the edge of the garden, hands on her hips, brow furrowed.
Yeah.
Shaking a trowel at you.
Yeah, nobody likes hearing that decisions have been made for them, but I guess if she's going to be weeding the garden, then I'll just offer to help as best I can till I collapse or can't stand any longer, And you know what? I'll do? If she won't let me help, then I'll start pestering her with questions. Like every single thing I see growing, I'll ask her what it is and what it does,
Oh, like where that's going. So yeah, she says, I'll have you know, I looked you once over, and the only calluses I see come from wielding a sword, not a trowel. So no, you can't be in my garden.
I can learn. How hard can it be?
I think you should learn how to keep your mouth shut sometimes and eat your food or go walking.
Peasants do it for solar's sake. Garden?
I guess I'll get a stick and start slapping the mud then.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm a peasant. I can be a peasant.
You always need mud slapping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that's all we do? You uppity little lord, you.
Slapping the water. All right. So anyway, I guess as far as like what I'll do now, I'm kind of stuck here until I'm healed up enough to move. So I'll just alternate between asking her questions and then sleeping and wandering around the property,
No, your constant pestering her with questions will get you work duty in the garden if that's what you were aiming for.
Yeah, I'd like to be useful. I don't want to, I know I'm imposing quite a bit. I'm feeling a tremendous sense of gratitude for her taking care of me, and there's no reason why she would be doing that. Because she didn't, now, if she were that type of person, she could realize that there's a potential reward in it. But, to drag a 100, with my armor, like a 200-pound dude through dips and gullies and stuff.
That's the word I was looking for.
So I feel quite a bit of gratitude towards her. So I'd like to try and be as useful as I can. But
yeah, once you pester her enough, she will get you down there gardening, and she'll start kind of overseeing more than actually working in the garden now.
Okay.
But yeah, fine, stop it. Come on over here. Don't break your wound open or I'll beat you. I don't think I can't. She gives you a menacing kind of, I had 2 older brothers. I know how to fight.
What happened to him?
She kind of
mustard gas. Yeah.
Well, I mixed I mixed gasoline and
some styrofoam in the forest.
Lit him up.
There was a styrofoam tree, and I was,
she kind of A sad kind of bit of emotion kind of washes over her face, and she kind of pushes it aside. And she's, they've been gone for a long time now.
Well, my brother's currently in a dungeon for having...
That was something I meant to make note for you. Not your brother being in the dungeon. He's still there. Is that you get more a sense that she's just calling you a lord because of how you were dressed. Your actual station. I don't remember. I don't think you've actually gone into detail about it to her.
Well, that's true. Like, yeah. I'm just like her calling me Lord. I just assumed she knew who I was, like based on like my house sigil or whatever that's on my clothes or something. Yeah.
So that's something I've been meaning to clarify with you. She's calling you a Lord based on how you were dressed. You were dressed fancy and you were in armor.
Okay.
And they don't put common folk in armor. They just put them out in the front with a shield and a stick.
Right.
And then I got to put them back together.
Okay.
But yeah, so you say that you have a brother in a dungeon. She's yeah, what'd he do to get put in there?
Well, it's a long story.
It looks like we both have family we don't much want to talk about.
True. Yeah, we have that in common.
You feel the sudden sting of a stick on the back of your hand as you go to move from weed to an actual plant.
Okay.
Not that one.
All right. You could just tell me.
But I found this works so much better.
It's no wonder you live alone out here.
She arches an eyebrow at you and puts on a mock, like offense. How dare you? I bring you to my lovely cottage and I feed you, take care of you, and this is how you repay me. You feel a sting on the back of your neck.
All right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use what will I use here?
Oh, that was something else I've been meaning to point out, or not point out, but make note of. Brawl and grapple are kind of like undisciplined fighting modes, I guess I'll say. But you do have, like, you can combat grappling with your sword skill. Like, you are taught how to get out of and reverse grapples as part of any martial art.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Right? So, for future reference, if someone comes up to grapple you, you can use your saber. If you don't have your saber in hand, you just lose the bonus that it would benefit or give to you.
Okay.
That's because you're going to draw your saber and cut her down.
No, I want to use like my royal court etiquette to say, an apology, but in the most over the top way that would suit a royal court, but not a hedge witch's cottage, right?
Roll it.
Oh, I failed. But anyway, I'll get all tongue-tied and be like, making a fool out of myself.
Her eyes narrow at you. Are you mocking me?
No, of course not.
She waves the stick threateningly.
Yeah, I'll move my hand back to the one that she stopped me from. This one, right?
Yeah, she brings it quickly down on your hand, much like the man who taught you fencing in Mars Oris.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. I've learned my lesson.
All right. You can roll a listen while you guys are having this little bickerings spat back and forth.
Okay. Listen.
Nice.
Special.
You hear something coming close to the clearing. It's fairly light, so you don't think it's like a group of men, but it's getting closer.
Yeah. So then I'll just like perk up and.
So she was getting ready to bring the stick down on your hand again when you do that. And she sees that you're serious.
Yeah. I'll be like, shh. And then I'll listen, what direction it's coming from. Something's coming.
You're panicking over nothing. It's protected by Luna, this clearing.
Well, nevertheless, I'll just rise to my feet and start heading into the cottage where my saber is.
All right.
Just in case.
So you get back out there and you got, oh man, what was its name? Mesor?
Yeah, I was actually just looking at it. It was, Mesor, yeah.
If you want, you can give me an old tongue to know what that means. You should technically know, but I figure I'd give you the roll if you want. Do you already have a check next to it?
To Old Tongue?
Yeah.
Is it called Old Tongue?
It's Ventus Lingua.
Oh, no, I don't have a check next to it.
Yeah.
I failed it last time, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, you can give it a roll if you want. You know the dang name.
Yeah.
It just keeps slipping here.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be one of those things you'll be laying down for sleep, and it'll come back to you, and then you wake up in the morning and you'd go try to tell someone about it. And
yeah, I just can't quite remember it.
Yeah. So, yeah, you got it in your hand. what is your total sense skill with the bonus from your mental, I believe is what it is, or is it your perception? Whatever the skill group bonus is.
See, perception, sense. So 39 is what's in the box there.
All right. And then the bonus from the skill group?
11.
39. So what is that? That's 50?
Yeah.
All right. So you are actually at a point where you don't have to roll to actually see any of the stuff I was describing to you when I was having you roll those senses before, right? You can focus. It's kind of always in the corner of your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're up close to it, it's not a thread. It's a kind of like a waving, almost a helix sometimes of just runes. And where the sense would come in now is if you wanted to read, and sometimes read what they were kind of saying. What it's a description or a story. It's the history of the thing. If it's an item, it's someone's past, or it's emotions would be readable like that, right? It's a sensing from Shadowrun.
Okay.
But if you wanted, now your sense will allow you to decipher them. But if you want, you can just see them.
Okay. Yeah. Then is that always on?
If you wanted to.
Okay.
That's what I'm kind of saying
Is there a downside to having it
yeah, I'd probably minus perception from stuff that
in the reel?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, well then for this, I'll get back out and I'll be like leaning against the door jamb or whatever, somewhat close to her, and then I'll have that on, which would be kind of a new experience for me. So, it's like one of those things where when you've learned a new skill, it's fun just to do it. And so you get kind of wrapped up in it, but I'll just be like, it's like the first time you start seeing the wall moving around after you eat some mushrooms or something.
Oh,
wow, this is cool.
So Leodin gets up and hides behind you, basically. And you're seeing like some sort of emotion coming off of her with this new skill. The footsteps are getting closer, and eventually, right before you figure that they'd be about to break out into the grove, you hear a small little voice call out, Leodin, are you here?
Okay. Somebody you know?
She hears the voice, and she kind of gives you a smack. And she's like, oh, you making me all scared. It's Thomas, little boy, comes for ointment for his grandma.
I'll duck back inside then, and I'll like whisper to her, he can't know I'm here.
All right, you silly little lord. All right, so she walks out, and you start hearing her, I'm here, Thomas, over here. And he comes running in, and you hear him say that, it's so hard to find this place. It seems like I get lost every time. And she's like, don't worry about it. Just, what do you want? And Nam's out of that ointment. And if you're looking through the window, like the slits in the
like the shutters or whatever.
Shutters, thank you. You see him hand her an earthen clay jar.
Okay.
And she takes it. She comes in, or she's like, wait here. That don't play in the garden, and don't play in the brook. Last time you damn near caught your sick, your death from fever from splashing in the garden or in the brook. And then he's like, fine. He's a small little guy, probably about 4, maybe 5.
Okay.
So she comes back in, and she begins prepping this ointment, which is a mix of, from what you can see, I actually even wrote it down. It's a mix of spicy chilies that have been dried and then ground into a powder, mint, and then tallow and beeswax. The tallow and beeswax gets melted into a liquid. Everything's added into it, mixed up, and then she pours it into a different earthen jar and seals it and leaves it to cool. And then she walks back out. This is fairly quick. She walks back out to the young boy, Thomas, and she's like, all right, just wait a minute. Have you eaten? And he's like, no. All right, you wait here. Sit on the stump. Don't be hopping around, and I'll get you some food. And so she goes in, comes back out, or you see her collect some more bread and hard cheese, and then she goes back out, and you hear them making idle conversation.
Okay. And what sense do I get from him?
He's, you can roll it. No, nice. Do you have a bonus on there that you shouldn't? I
Oh, do I?
think you still do. Looks like you're 10 over, right?
Why?
Do you look at the top of the skill or the bottom of the skills? There should be the the modifier box,
Oh, I see. Okay.
but you still got a special, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
So he's like a ball of energy, just like you're seeing energy, youth, these type of runes coming off of him. He's also a kind of a mix of emotion, of excitement, wanderlust,
Mm-hmm.
just everything. He's in good health.
Nothing to be concerned about.
No.
Okay.
And he's happy
Okay.
overall. Maybe a little bit malnourished, but you think you'll probably see that on a lot of different people.
Yeah.
Just traveling around.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't want anybody to see me here and go tell somebody else who might be interested in, bring some violence down on this woman. So I'll just stay in there until he's gone.
All right. And for the most part, I'm going to kind of start fast forwarding you a bit here. So if there's something that you want to do, just kind of chime in.
Okay.
But the rest of the day, after she hands him the now cooled, still warm, but cooled down enough to handle earthen jar, thank you. And she's like, now hurry on home. It's going to be dark and you can't be in the Leshy after dark. And he's like, I know. And as he's about to take off, she's like, wait a minute. What do you say? He's like, Solar bless you. All right, away with you. And tell your gran hi. Or hello. There we go. After that, the pain in your side kind of starts kicking up again. You can resist it, but if you want, an elixir will put you to sleep and kill the pain.
Yeah, might as well.
All right. So that night, you wake up again. The pain causes you to wake up. The shutters are open again, which is something that you have now come to realize is happening somehow. But you know Leodin closes them each night before she goes to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And she, every time I go to have her tell you about the Leshy, her and I both get sidetracked. So you know that there's something that she keeps meaning to tell you about this forest that you're in.
Okay.
But it just has never quite come to fruition. You know, with if you turn your senses on, that she's on the other side of the cloth partition, that she's hung up again, and she's sleeping soundly.
Okay. All right. So I wake up and the shutter's open. Don't know how, and I'm in a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And the itching's getting crazy. So this is technically the 26th now.
Okay.
Add one more to your hit point and your abdomen.
Okay.
And yeah, it's now a thin, the stab wound is now a thin line with kind of an angry pink look of new flesh around it if you look under the bandage.
Okay.
So pain probably isn't going to let you go back to sleep.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just get up then, wander over to that window and look out and see if I can, maybe there's some sort of critter that keeps opening the shutters or something.
All right. Roll a spot, or
Maybe some mischievous critter out there like a raccoon or something, whatever they have here. So do a spot there and I'll listen as well.
Usually what happens is if you wanted to do them both, one would augment the other. So you would roll the listen, and if you succeed, you'd get a 20% increase on the spot.
Oh, okay.
In this case, if you're looking for something, spot's the more important one. So,
well, anyway, that's a failure. So.
Yeah, you don't, did I say the 25th again? I meant 26th.
26.
So you don't see anything immediately, but you do hear a voice on the edge of the forest towards the east. The window looks out towards the east to catch as much of the morning light as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My lord, is that you?
Do I recognize the voice?
Sounds like Chelsea's.
Oh, okay. What a loyal servant. All right, then I'll, grab up my saber and I'll head out. I'll try not to wake her up as I go by.
Okay. You can roll a stealth for me.
Here's the stealth failure. I don't have good stealth. I'm not good at sneaking.
So you begin rummaging around. It's dark. The embers from the fire are still kind of offering illumination, but Luna's light is mostly shaded in here, so you're pretty much stumbling around in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And You're able to get out without knocking anything over, but you kind of start hearing her rustling.
Okay.
But she hasn't said anything yet.
All right.
Or she's not awake enough to, anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So then I'll head out then, see about going towards the sound of Chelsea's voice, wherever he is.
Yeah, it sounds like he's off to the east.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll start hobbling that way, and I'll, have my sense turned on to see if that helps me see anything.
It doesn't illuminate anything,
Yeah.
but you do see the various tendrils of runes that come off of stuff. And you see, like, the edge of her grove, the trees there give off healthy energy, and they're growing and they're content. But the ones beyond it, you kind of see corruption have seeped into it, right? So again, you hear the voice, "Oh, my lord, I'm over here."
All right.
You can roll a spot again. This time it'll be easy.
And is that, 2 times?
Mm-hmm. Just remember to convert that back to normal. Okay. Yeah, a bit of Luna's light filters through the trees. At least you think that's what it is. And you see Chelsea standing on the edge of the eastern part of the grove.
Okay.
Outside of the actual grove itself, beyond those healthy trees and the actual leshy.
All right.
He's like,
Yeah, so I'll call out to him then, if I can see him. I'm over here. Chelsea's.
"My lord, so happy to finally have found you. I knew that you weren't dead. Come here. Come to me, my lord."
No, you come to me. Yeah, no.
You can roll a sense
Okay.
on this Chelsea's.
Critical.
You see it for what it is. It's a scarecrow essentially made up of creeping vines, rotted wood, and decaying plant matter that in the moonlight looks like Chelsea's, but it is definitely not him.
Okay.
It's something else. And you see some of these threads of runes going off into the Leshy towards the east. And I think I screwed up and said it was to the north where you saw some of this corruption before on the horizon. It's to the east is what I meant. I apologize for that. For some reason in my map, I thought you were in a different section than, and I actually looked at the map and I was like, oh no, I'll have to have Brandon retcon. Behind you, you hear the door kind of get pushed aside, and Leodin walks out. She's wearing her shift, and her hair's done up.
Mm-hmm.
But she calls out to you, "Landon, shouldn't be out here at night."
Yeah, I'll point to that thing and say, "Are you seeing this? Do you see that?"
"It's not real, Landon."
I know, but are you seeing it? Is what I'm asking.
"I see a bunch of dead plants, Landon. The Leshy tricks you.
Mm-hmm.
It's hungry."
Yeah, it's calling out to me. It's taken the form of my most trusted man here, Chelsea's. I mean, who served me for my whole life. How did it know to do that?
"It knows everything. It needs to lure you out into the woods."
Well, why?
"No one really knows. Come back inside. We can talk about it. But out here is dangerous, Landon. Don't go to it."
I'm not going to it. You see me standing here? I could tell right away there was something wrong with it. You know how I knew was Chelsea's would never tell me to come to him. That's just not his style. Chelsea's doesn't forget who's in charge.
I like that. Because sometimes I forget that Landon actually is a fairly high-ranking noble. He seems pretty down to earth.
Yeah.
But then you sneak that type of stuff in there, and I was like, yeah, that's very much like what a noble would think. Like, how dare my servant,
Yeah, right. Like,
my right-hand man,
wait a minute.
command me?
Yeah, that's not how we do things. But yeah, I'll go back inside then.
So she kind of gives a brief history of what is known about the Leshy, and that it's a forest that dated all the way back to when Solar was here. We have maps from those times that show it. It used to spread all the way from the north all the way to the south. But at some point during the times when the demons were running amok, they corrupted many of the spirits of the lands, and the Leshy was the spirit of this forest. At least that's what Minan tells me.
And it's just all around bad?
It somehow survived the purging that Solar brought forth on all demon kind when they were wandering about. And it was asleep for a long time. I made sacrifice to it when I first moved up here to bless the land, and that's when I found that not only was this forest still under its control, but it was very much awake.
So why do you purposely live out here?
Keep it at bay, do what I can, but also I take care of the people in the northern Moros city nearby and the towns, the outlying towns.
Well, it's very brave of you. I don't know that I could live in a haunted forest.
I don't have anything to fear, especially in this grove. Luna protects.
That's why it was wanting me to come to it.
Mo.
You've got like a border here that it can't cross.
Yeah. The wards and fetishes that I hang up, keep them out.
Okay.
I'm very, very glad to know that it is very much the case. The Leshy doesn't bother me much. Never really has.
All right.
So, again, your eyes are heavy after you drink whatever elixir.
Yeah. And then I'll just pass out.
Next 2 days pass without incident, much the same. Leodin is really kind of relaxed around you. She's basically treats you like she would anyone else, any of her other patients.
Mm-hmm.
And on the afternoon of the 28th, much like a repeat of the 25th, you're out there sitting on a stump. This time she was gathering firewood and splitting it, so you could be doing that. You're definitely feeling up to it by this point. You're a little bit under the weather, still a little bit sore, but the wound should be healed by now.
Okay. So what is my hit points at?
2 more than they were last time, but your abdomen should be full by now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think your hit points took the full brunt of it, so they should be 4 from full.
Yeah, they are.
All right. So yeah, she's splitting wood. She's doing a decent enough job at it, but occasionally she'll like, "You're so eager to help. Not more than 2 days passed, and you could barely stand then. Now that you can stand just fine, my lord, you seem to just be sitting there."
Yeah. Well, I'm tired.
And there is common work and common work.
Exactly. But no, I'll chuckle and I'll take the axe from her. Let me show you how this is done, which I've never done this before. So, but how hard can it be?
Yeah, give an axe swing. Just roll a 1d100. I think we can. Just a standard 1d100. We'll just hit or miss it here. You're used to swinging a sword.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it one-handed here.
Yeah, so you bring
like a
this
saber.
You bring this axe down, and it just kind of cants to the side, and you just cleave off a big old chunk and send it flying.
It was deliberate. There's kindling for you.
Thank you for taking that into consideration, my lord.
Yeah.
But anyway, while this is happening, roll a listen. And sorry, John and
Success.
Travis.
No, you're fine, man.
All right, you hear quiet voices and footsteps off to the east, southeast.
Okay.
Or actually southwest. Sorry. So the cottage would be between you and it right now.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll let her know that someone's coming, and then I'll, get back inside and out of sight, grab my saber.
All right. You were also probably making plans to go visit the clearing today.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's like, it's probably just Thomas again. His nan goes through that arthritis. It kills her.
Well, hopefully. But sounded like more than one person.
She kind of looks concerned, and she takes up position safely behind you. So, roll spot. All right. You can, what is it? I believe that's mental. You can roll, or not roll, you can use half the number of power points.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll use power points there.
All right. So with your listen, you hear them kind of saying like, it's 2 men. I know I saw voices, or I know I saw smoke off this direction. It's like, sure you did. No, I did. I swear. It's weird around here. This forest. And it's, you and your superstitions and your wives' tales. Ain't nothing weird. It's just an old forest. But with your spot, you're able to see that there are 2 men. They're kind of keeping low. They're trying to stay hidden. And they're wearing black and red.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll just whisper to her. It sounds like they're lost.
It's easy to get lost in here.
All right. And so there's 2 men, and they're wearing black and red.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean to me? Whose colors are black and red?
Yours, House Velix.
Okay.
Also, the brigands wore black and red
Right.
the day they ambushed you, which was your colors.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So I don't know if I can trust these people.
That said, they do not have a Mars Oris accent. They don't have the... I mean to make it more piratey sounding than it is, but that kind of Cockney pirate accent. So
Okay.
they sound a bit more... It's still a common accent, but it's a northern common accent.
All right. So how far away from the cottage are they then now?
They seem to be walking south around the perimeter of her grove, Leodin's grove.
Okay.
So,
Well,
you hear them kind of cussing about underbrush and it being too thick here, and you kind of get the impression that they think they're still that they kind of lost which direction they're heading when they get closer to the grove.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'll tell her. Yeah, maybe they're lost. I don't know, but I'll have to risk it.
Just call out to them.
Then that's what I'll do. I was just letting her know that I was going to do that.
Oh yeah, she gives a nod.
But then I'll call out and say, "Hey, down there, are you lost?"
They stop and they look your direction. You can kind of see them around the edge of the cottage, probably, or if you went beyond it. I don't know. Like, did you step out into?
Yeah, like just outside of the cottage.
Okay. Yeah. So they look your direction, and they kind of have a dumbfounded look. Like, where did this come from on their face? Hello there. We appear to be a bit lost. Can you give directions?
Of course. Come on up. Identify yourselves.
Yeah.
This forest is dangerous.
They walk onto the grove, and one of them's like, "Wasn't here before." It was, and the other one's like, "Shush, I won't hear it. You're just blind. I was looking the other way."
Okay. So they really are lost then. But yeah, but I'll ask them their names. Ask them why they're out here wandering the forest.
Names, always a dangerous thing to ask me, Brandon. Where the heck is my... There we go. Yeah, I'll go with it. I'm Lo. Lowell. Lowell. I'm never going to be able to say it. Let's switch it. Theo.
Okay.
I'm Theo. This is yours, Sammy. Trying to go into Mars Oris again. They do not have a Mars Oris accent.
Okay. Theo and Sammy, where are you from? I see the colors of House Velix you wear.
Yeah, not much know of us. Well, until we came riding through about a week almost back. Yeah, we're encamped off to the west.
So then what are you doing out here? Are you trying to get back to your camp?
We're searching. Our commander, I believe it was Rob, sent us off looking for one of the Lord Marshal's sons. Got lost out here. You wouldn't have happened to have seen him, would you?
Let me do like a, insight or a sense or something, see if I can, sense motive sort of thing, see if I can detect if they're being honest or if they're being dastardly.
All right. Yes. You can roll a sense if you want to try to read it, or you can roll an insight if you want to actually discern it through other means like character, body movement.
Yeah, I'll try the insight. Success. So I know they don't have a Mars Horse accent, which the brigands had. So they're wearing my house's colors. The story sounds legit that they're looking for me, because somebody would be looking for me. But I just want to see what sense I get from them.
Yeah, they're being truthful. If anything, you'd say that they're very annoyed that their commander has them trudging out in this just horrible wood.
Yeah.
Especially now that it's starting to get hotter.
Then, I'll say, indeed, I have seen him. You found him.
Oh, and also to note that they're obfuscating the truth, and that, or maybe they don't know it all, but they're by saying that they've lost, or that you have become lost.
Yeah.
Right. They don't want to say that potentially foul play is at foot or anything like that. They're giving you a nobody that, as far as they know, not the whole truth. So, yeah. So you say you found him. Roll status.
He is me.
Success. All right. So, you're like, I am, and give your titles, or do you just?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give the whole rundown of whatever my...
Yeah, so you give your various titles and lineage,
Mm-hmm.
and they immediately they don't bow unless it's in other company.
Yeah.
Generally, they immediately salute. Commander, we apologize. We didn't recognize you. You've been away for a long time.
Mm. Yes, I have. No apologies necessary. I was grievously wounded in an ambush. I'm convalescing here until I'm well enough to travel to make it back to the camp.
Well, we are given orders to escort you if we find you, and
Mm-hmm.
make reports as necessary. There has been some sort of predicament that has arisen, and the commander is most unpleased as of late.
Mm. He's talking about my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's always
More so
displeased.
than usual, sir, Commander.
Yeah, so I want to ask him about, Duncan and Chelsis and all the other minor lords that had gone with us. I want to see what's going on with that.
We do not know much. Commander Morgan, I think his last name was. Rob Morgan, was that your uncle's name? But anyway,
Yeah.
Commander Morgan hasn't informed us on everything. All we know is that shortly after you and Duke's Low, or not Duke's, Comitus Low left on the hunting trip, that men from Castrum Low came to the encampment and demanded an audience with Morgan, or Commander Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
and that ever since we have been on double guard duties and have prepared for war.
Okay. Yeah, so right, like they're trying to hold my uncle responsible or something like that. Okay.
But we have a small group of men nearby. We should rejoin them if we're able to find them in this wood. And we have horses at the ready to take us back to camp.
Okay. Yes, that's probably for the best. Give me a moment. And then I'll turn back to Eliadin and, looks like it's time for me to go. Is there some way that I can repay you for your kindness?
No, my lord. And this time it's a bit different.
Mm.
It's an actual my lord.
Yeah. Well, my offer stands if you want to come with me. Find safety among my people with your grandmother.
Let's see here. Barely. She's hesitant. You tell she really doesn't want to leave here, but she kind of just makes a snap decision, almost like last second. And she's like, let me go grab some things, and I'll follow you,
Okay.
my lord. And then off she goes. And that's where we'll call it with you for now, is Leodin. She comes out with a bundle of, like a cloak that is holding more clothes.
Yeah.
And some herbs are poking out of one side, various vials and stuff that she may need.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I'll go grab my stuff, my armor and all that, and I'll make one of those dudes carry it because it's heavy.
Thank you, Commander.
I still am injured, so
Yeah.
what good is it being the Lord if he can't make people do stuff?
No good.
Yeah.
Um,
So that was what was Theo and what?
Theo and Sammy is what he said. You would probably know him as Samuel, or,
Okay.
well, you wouldn't know him. I mean, they're
Yeah.
one step above a conscript, so.
Barely even human.
Alrighty. Travis, Jardine, you have ridden the mid-morning away. It's now getting into mid-afternoon. Roll luck. One of you. I'll leave it. Or I should have guessed. I should have asked if Jardine's there.
Did you roll the
Okay.
last luck, or did I?
I think we had separate luck attempts for different things. You can roll it this time if you want. You seem to be better on average than I am.
Nope.
So there's still a lot of daylight left, this being the summer months, and it is getting to like twilight levels as these clouds roll overhead.
Okay.
In the distance, you hear peals of thunder, a low boom that just fills the plain. And because it is a plain land, way off in the distance, you see just hundreds of forks of lightning striking various places, and you fear that will soon be over your heads.
Yeah. Scan the horizon for anything we can shelter in. Copes of trees.
You can roll spots or you can roll lucks, depending on what you think is better.
Luck again.
All right.
Do you want to take a spot and I'll go with a luck?
No, I did luck. My
All right,
spot's
I got
pretty
the
low.
Spot then.
You can. Okay.
Special spot.
All right. Up ahead, Jardane, you see a place where the road forks, or not forks, but is bisected. It's a crossroad. And there's a small copse of trees off to the northeast of it. And there's a small little hut that is just nestled kind of in the corner of that crossroad. It's got some smoke rising up from it, from its chimney, not the actual just inhabitants.
It would be less strange if it wasn't on fire.
That's probably true.
As I'll point it out, but it is a bit odd that there still is someone there that's occupying the place, unless it's just another band of travelers. But I would suggest we probably use some caution.
Okay, well, I don't see any other choice. It's that or the lightning. So I'll spur my horse, or move my horse to that direction. Pull on the mane, I guess.
Use your foot.
Yeah.
Dig it into the ribs. All right, so you're not going by gallops by any means, and you've probably slowed down some. Yeah, it's a small wood and thatch cottage. Multiple symbols and hang from the outside, the eaves of it. The winds, the shutters have them carved into them, and the doors open slightly.
Okay. Well, I'll get down or help Dane down first, whichever way that has to work out.
Yeah, he can roll an agility to get down, or he can spend one temporary hit point on that arm, or you can help him, and it would be easy.
Got it.
All right. Yeah, you get between the two of you, he slides off the horse easy enough and doesn't bang up his arm.
Yeah, and I'll go tap on that partially open door. Hello.
So you tap, and when you do, it creaks open.
Never a good thing. Hello.
And you, inside, you see a single room with a fire off to one side and a small bed full of leaves and thatch, and an old woman kind of just sitting at a table just eating a thin soup.
But she doesn't hear me?
If you yell it, she will perk up, but her eyes are clouded.
Right. Yeah, I'll try to get louder before I push my way in. Although it might be in our favor if I startle her to death.
Jardane, roll an alchemy.
I'll push that.
Go for it.
All right.
Success. You see that as you're getting closer to this house and Hadrius is pushing in, that these symbols that are carved in and the fetishes that hang from the eaves they consist, there's lots of protection, peace, prosperity. These are like good fortune runes, something that you'd put on your house to kind of bless it. But that's all you see. She's not mixing up, ammonia gas or anything. So it's just a superstition that a lot of common folk have. So they'll carve stuff like that. Some will put mirrors in the windows because there's like a belief that if a bugaboo sees its reflection, it will have to run from it, stuff like that. But so you're saying you're getting louder?
Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of jumps and sightless eyes kind of look your direction. You startled me.
My apologies, mother or grandmother. We need shelter from the storm.
All right. Yeah, you say that, and she seems to reply with almost like I'm going to use the more modern term, like a canned answer. Those who seek shelter and ask for it shall have it provided.
Well, thank you. I'd be happy to pay.
And now she kind of is answering in a more informal tone. No need. I offer this as free. Or I offer this free to all who seek shelter. Come in. The soup is done.
I've been away from civilization for too long. I'm looking at everything crossways, but I'll motion to Ollie and Dane to come forward.
All right.
Guess we'll have to keep the horses from running off, or let them run off. One or the other.
Yeah, there's other than the small copse of trees that are around this part. I mean, she doesn't have a stable, so
Right.
you can tie them up or let them go.
Horses are handy. Guess I just don't want them to hurt themselves getting crazy by the storm, but I'll risk it. So I'll hobble them, tie them up somewhere.
All right. So yeah, she dishes out some soup for you guys. It's fairly watery. Seems to be consisting mostly of wild vegetables and some odd meat, mysterious meat, very gamey.
She's probably part of the cult, and these are like the cut-up remains of Garbon's men. I'll sniff at it first, I guess.
It
Try to hide it. So
smells bland.
Okay.
Like not a lot of salt.
Well, I'll take a small taste.
A secret pinch of salt from your pocket salt.
The last bit. Gone through bandits and storm.
Like I said, fairly bland. The meat has lost a lot of its flavor because it's sunk into the stew or the soup base. But yeah, it tastes of meat and vegetables, gamey meat and vegetables.
Well, I'll relax a smidge and make some small talk with her the best I can. Remark about her being out here on her own. Does she get much trouble?
No one ever bothers an old woman much.
Maybe that's the guys I'll have to take when I travel next.
Brave Sir Hadrius bravely ran away.
Well, I'll let her be just so I'm not straining my voice, speaking loudly. I'll just assure her that we'll be on our way as soon as the weather clears and thank her again. Other than that, I guess I'll keep to myself unless Dane or Ollie want to talk.
Dane, Ollie, do you want to talk?
And really the only thing that I would be concerned with is, do you think that if Garbon had lost, that his men would come after us, or do you think they'll try to go back?
Well, they still have to contend with the storm no matter which way they try to go, so I think they'd be in the same spot we are at this moment.
Yeah, you could argue, because I think Hadrius kind of theory crafted, it'd probably be better for Garbon to lose, because then they probably won't have the incentive to come after you. But if Garbon wins, he probably will be coming after you. Not in a means to do violence, but to see that his charge is taken care of.
Yeah, I'll lay out all that theory I have, and that we'll soon find out if it was his men that were actually drawing the attacks we suffered under, and not us, because I had assumed at the beginning that it had something to do with what we were about. But having gone through the countryside and seeing it so ravaged, perhaps they'd drawn the ire of this cult.
That's a possibility. And if they were looting the towns before, as maybe they unknowingly looted something important, or
Messed with the wrong people.
Yeah, or something that they shouldn't have, from someone who was attached to that death cult.
But yeah, we'll just have to deal with Garbon if he does show up when it happens. I admit a bit of disappointment because I had a revenge fantasy about getting him and all his men to Castrum Low and extolling to the Lord there the virtues and their loyalty to Low, even wearing the colors, and then they would get conscripted into his army or something like that. But this is the way it worked out, and that's all that can be done.
Yeah. So as you guys are talking, she'll occasionally pick up a word here or there, and she'll be like, "Lo, a day or two that way," and then on another time she'll be like, "No, my husband died long ago." Long ago. No one much bothers me. And then she'll kind of
go back to her thing.
Yeah, she's kind of constantly talking. You don't know if it's an actual pet, but she'll occasionally call out for some animal. She has left food for it, some small bits of greasy meat that most likely also went into the soup.
Right.
And when it doesn't come immediately to her door, she kind of waves it away and waddles back over to where she had been sitting on her bed, or at the table. He'll come back when it's hungry. That storm's something out there. I'll make a pallet for you and your friends.
Thank you, grandmother.
She starts going over to cupboards that she can now barely reach, but at one point you figure she could reach him pretty good.
I'll
Now, Dane, you think this old woman's worth murdering for her alchemy supply?
as I don't know, we'll find out. But I was gonna ask her if she's the one who crafted those runes outside or on the house.
It takes you a couple tries, but then she kind of gives you passed down through the family. Ma taught him to me. She kind of leans forward and in a very loud whisper, she was one of them Lu Knights, worship the goddess. I don't do that. Solar. I'm putting on the accent. She doesn't have that accent. Sorry.
Everybody's from Morosaurus.
The more Irish and Scottish twang I try to make the Southern Isles. But yeah, so she confesses to you that her grandmother and mother were worshippers of Luna, which isn't a horrible thing. So,
do they still seem to hold power? You say nobody bothers you much. As it's surprising that you're out here given everything that is happening around you or around this area.
She laughs and kind of like pokes you with the arthritic-ridden finger. There's a bunch of superstitions and wives' tales.
As now I've got the arthritis. Dang it! I'll ask her if she minds if I copy some of those down before we end up leaving after that storm passes.
Oh, you're more than welcome to. It's looking like the storm's not gonna let up tonight. I'll get you guys some blankets and a pallet for... And she realizes she's already holding some of the blankets. And she's like, oh, they're right here. She unfurls them onto the ground. I've been working, doing the accent again. I've been working all day, though, so I'm going to have to rest for a while. My home is yours. And she kind of sits down on her bed, and quickly she kind of takes on the slump of someone nodding off to sleep.
I'll thank her as she's turning that way, and make up that pallet and try to get some rest myself.
All right. Much as is common in this era, it's not like multiple pallets. It's kind of one big one. You guys would be sharing padding and blanket, or multiple blankets on the ground probably, and then one on top.
Yeah, I'll tell Ollie, why doesn't he catch a wink? And I'll look out at the storm for a while.
I have been missing out on my sleep, boss.
I know.
Ever since you got rid of that wagon.
Yeah, I miss it too, Ollie.
All that wool.
So yeah, precious wool.
So we'll end with Ollie laying down on the pallet, not next to, but on the same pallet as Jardine, while you stare outside the big spoon. While you stare out the window, and lightning forks much, much closer, and the thunder booms.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fun.
Roll against your skills, guys.
Do you make it to your month yet?
He's close. He's 28.
All right, we'll go in for praise.
Yeah.
This has been a Deathwatch production. Thank you for listening.